Some people have waited their whole lives for this moment, but this year, 4 astronauts are going to the moon on Artemis II. This is the first time humans are going beyond Earth's orbit since 1972. This mission itself is a 10-day loop around the moon and back. They're not going to land, they're just testing everything before Artemis III attempts it in 2029. The Orion capsule will house the crew, which is about the size of a large minivan, and there's a lot of excitement but also nervousness around this mission. Our whole nation is going to be watching. So how the mission works is NASA's rocket will take off from the Kennedy Space Center with over 8 million pounds of thrust, and this will get them into Earth's orbit in just 9 minutes. After a quick systems check, they'll fire up the engines again and spend 4 days heading to the moon. On day 6, they'll swing around the far side of the moon, just 80 miles above the surface, which is closer than anyone has been since Apollo 17. If the timing works out, they'll see parts of the moon that no human has ever seen before. Then they'll keep going, looping out another 4,700 miles before their path curves them back to Earth. This whole trip will end up being a figure 8 in space, and then 10 days later, they'll splash down in the Pacific Ocean. This splashdown will be tricky too, because the heat shield will get as hot as half the sun's surface temperature. NASA tested the heat shield on Artemis I in 2022, and pieces came off during re-entry. This time, engineers are confident that things will work okay, but it's still enough to make me nervous. But the question is, why are we doing this now after all these decades? And honestly, the answer is simple: China. The original space race was between the US and the Soviet Union, but today the competition is China. China already has a robotic base on the moon, and they have plans to land their own astronauts there by 2030. So of course NASA wants to land on the moon first, but also build a base there which can support long-term stays and not just a short visit. It's understandable why some people are upset at the threat of China beating the US, because NASA's funding was drastically cut after Apollo 11. But either way, this mission will serve a bigger purpose. Beyond the space race, humanity needs something to unite us again, a shared goal that can transcend politics and borders. The crew even named their capsule Integrity, hoping this mission can bring people together the same way Apollo did during the 60s. And this is just the beginning. Artemis II is about testing the life support systems, navigation, and crew procedures before they land humans on the moon's south pole with Artemis III in 2028. That next mission will use SpaceX's massive Starship rocket to carry astronauts to the lunar surface itself. There might be water ice in those craters that could be turned into drinking water and rocket fuel. And if so, the moon can eventually be a stepping stone on the journey to Mars. And when that actual landing happens, with modern cameras and live streaming, it'll absolutely break the internet. It doesn't matter where you live or a language you speak, every human will be tuned in to see that landing. For now though, the focus is getting those 4 astronauts safely around the moon and back. It takes a lot of bravery to strap yourself to millions of pounds of rocket fuel, and each one of these missions comes with a risk. But after 50 plus years, we're finally going back. And this generation will look at the moon landing not as something from a history book, but as part of their own legacy. Godspeed, Artemis II.